Good morning, students. I hope your participation in the previous two classes was super. I am expecting the same magnitude of attention even in this period also. The human eye and the colorful world, this is having two parts. In first two periods, we have learnt about the construction and the functions of the organs of the human eye in detail. And in the next part, we are supposed to learn about the colorful world. Every day in our day to day life, we are going to enjoy colorful events in our nature. So far we enjoyed them, but how these incidents are going to be happened. So, that fact we have to learn in this world. So, I welcome all the students to this class. Before we go to the next period, let us try to recall what are the things we have learnt in the last class. We have learnt these points in the last class. In this class, we are supposed to learn refraction through a glass slab and a glass prism, dispersion through a glass prism, recombination of the spectrum of white light, formation of rainbow, atmospheric refraction, twinkling of stars, advanced sunrise and delayed sunset. These things we have to learn in detail in this period. Okay, let us start. Refraction of light. The light has three prominent characters. The light travels in a straight line, reflection and refraction of the light. So, the first two and even refraction of the light also have learnt in detail in 8th standard or in the previous standards. Once again, let us recall what is the meaning of refraction of light. In the nature, we have three transparent mediums: glass, air and water. These three are differing in densities. Glass is very denser, compared to that the water is less denser, compared to that air is less denser. Anyhow, we come across the changes in the density in the transparent mediums. Whenever the light is travelling from one medium to another medium, like from rarer medium to denser medium or from denser medium to rarer medium, from air to glass or from glass to air, the speed of the light alters. Due to that, the light is going to bend. That phenomenon is called as the refraction of light. So, let us see the refraction of light through a glass slab. This is a glass slab. The light is going to incident on it. It undergoes refraction. Then ultimately, it undergoes once again refraction and it leaves the glass slab. So, the dash and dash are drawn perpendicular. Here PQ is called as the incident ray, QR is called as the refracted ray and RS is called as the emergent ray. I1 and I2 are the angle of incidence which is formed between the normal and the incident ray. Similarly, R1 and R2 are the angle of refraction which is going to be formed between the refracted ray and the perpendicular. Already you have learned, therefore, I do not want to go in detail regarding this. Let us proceed further to understand the refraction of light through a prism. In this case, we are going to take a triangular based prism. The triangular based prism has two triangular bases and lateral faces are rectangular. So, this combination of the prism is enable us to get the refraction through it easily. So, let us see how the refraction is going to happen through the prism. This is the ray diagram of a triangular prism. The light is entering. Here PQ is called as the incident ray. QR is called as the refracted ray, and RS is called as the emergent ray. In this case, the ray of light enters from rarer to denser medium. Again it moves from denser medium to rarer medium. When PQ is incident on the glass prism, it is going to bend, that means refraction happened, hence QR is called as the refracted ray, and ultimately RS is called as the emergent ray. RS is the refracted ray, second refracted ray, but it is emerging outside, hence it is called as the emergent ray. To understand it still effectively, now we are going to draw the normals or the perpendiculars n n dash and m m dash. I1 and I2 are the angle of incidence. The angles are going to be formed between the incident ray and the perpendicular. Similarly, R1 and R2 are called as the angle of refraction. These angles are going to be formed between refracted ray and the normal. Now, if we extend the incident ray and the emergent ray, they are going to meet at a point G. There angle D is going to form, that is called as the angle of deviation. As usually, A is called as the angle of the prism. So, to sum up, I would like to say, when the ray of light enters from rarer medium to denser medium, that is through the glass prism, it undergoes refraction, and once again when it travels from denser medium, I mean glass prisms, towards the air, it undergoes once again refraction. So, that RS is called as the second refracted ray. One point should be made very clear from this experiment. After the refraction of light through the glass prism, the ray of light, I mean emergent ray, it moves towards the base. By taking this point into consideration, now I have a plan to explain the convergence and divergence in case of the convex lens and the concave lens. Normally, if I ask any student to differentiate between convex lens and concave lens, they are going to give very good answer. They are going to say convex lens thicker at the middle and thinner at the edges, concave lens thicker at the edges and thinner at the middle. Convex lens is called as a convergence lens and concave lens is called as a diverging lens. About this converging and diverging, they have bit confusion. So, in order to convince them, I am going to take this fact as the light after refraction through a glass prism, it bends towards the base. Let us take two prisms. The bases of the prisms are going to unite there, that is called as the principal axis. Now, we made the light to enter through the prism. You know very well what happens, it bends towards the base. Yes, it bends towards the base. That point where the two lights meet is called as the point of convergence. So, think that the convex lens is the combination of two prisms like this. As usually, when the light is made to fall on this convex lens, the light after refraction bends towards the base, Hence, in the convex lens, the convergence is going to happen. Take the second case. Two prisms are taken which are exactly opposite to each other. Draw the principal axis. Now, allow the ray of light to fall on the prisms. You know, after refraction, they must bend towards the base. Base is upward and another base is downward. Naturally, they move towards the bases. This is called as the converging effect. The same thing we can use to explain even the divergence effect of the concave lens also. I hope children, now it is made very clear. This is not exact explanation, I know. Indirectly, by using the prisms like this, you can understand the convergence and divergence effect of the convex lens as well as the concave lens. Okay, children, let us proceed further. Dispersion of white light by a glass prism. The white light is made by millions of colors. You may be surprised now to listen to this statement. How come it is going to happen, sir? Definitely it is made by millions of colors. But if I say the next statement, the white light is made by 7 colors means, oh, every student is going to admit it. But the first statement is also true, my dear children. The light is definitely made by millions of colors, but we could be able to see only 7 prominent colors. So, that is why white light is the combination of the 7 colors. Now, everybody is going to accept this statement. How to show white light is made by 7 colors? Any direct evidence is there for this? No, not at all. Simply by seeing the white light, you cannot guess there are 7 colors inside the white light. Instead of that, you pass the white light through a prism which is specially designed for that. It is going to split into its constituent colors. I am not using the term 7 colors. If I use the term only 7 colors, it is not correct. So, into its constituent colors. This beautiful phenomenon is called as the dispersion of light. What a nice explanation given by the famous scientist Sir Isaac Newton. Now, the next question is why, how the white light is going to split into 7 colors. For that there are several reasons. The white light is made to pass through the prism, you have seen, and it is going to split into 7 colors. So, in order to understand this one still in a better manner, let us take a ray diagram. Now, it is crystal clear for every student. The white light is made to pass through a prism, it undergoes a dispersion and 7 colors are formed here. The band of colors is called as the spectrum. The group of colors is called as the spectrum. Let us see which are the colors. Vib-Gayar, we call it as popularly Vib-Gayar. V indicates violet, I for indigo, B for blue, G for green, Y for yellow, O for orange and R for red. Even the alphabets are also in the same colors. Now, there is a question, how it is going to happen? There are mainly 3 reasons for the happening of the dispersion of the light when the white light is made to pass through the prism. Let us see which are those 3 reasons. The speed of the light, which is composed of all these colors, is the same in the atmosphere. But when it enters into the glass prism, the speed is going to change. That is why they bend at different angles. The speed of red is more compared to violet, hence it bends less, the angle is less. But the speed of violet is more compared to all other colors, hence it deviates more. So, therefore, the angle of bending is likely to differ in such a manner due to the speed. The second reason is all the 7 colors have different refractive indices. And finally, there is one more reason, that is very important reason, that is called as the change in the wavelength. All the 7 colors have different wavelengths, that is why they deviate or bend at different angles. Anyhow, due to the differences among all the colors, we could be able to see the splitting of the white light into different colors. So, this beautiful dispersion concept, as I told already, it was explained by the great scientist Sir Isaac Newton. He conducted one more experiment to confirm whether the white light is made by 7 colors or not, that is recombination of the spectrum of white light. Spectrum of white light indicates 7 colors. So, how they are going to recombine. It is an interesting experiment. He has taken two prisms which are similar and they are exactly inverted to each other. He passed the white light through the first prism, it undergoes dispersion by producing the 7 constituent colors. Immediately these 7 constituent colors are made to pass through the second inverted prism. Now recombination of the colors takes place to form a single white light. So, white light converts into 7 colors, 7 colors recombine to form the white light. From this experiment, ultimately he confirmed that the white light is the combination of all 7 colors. To see the 7 colors, is it necessary to take a prism always in your pocket? Or do you have any intention or have you seen the 7 colors anywhere in the nature? Yes, I am getting an answer from a student. Okay, please express it, my dear student. Yes, you are right. The 7 colors can be seen in the rainbow. Let us say thanks to the student who concluded the result. So, as soon as you see in the rainbow, you know, any student or any young children, they are going to dance like anything. Such a beautiful natural spectrum is going to happen in the nature often and it gives splendid enjoyment to the people. So, this beautiful rainbow, how this is going to happen? We have seen it, we have enjoyed it, but how it is going to happen? Let us try to understand how it is going to happen. It is a natural spectrum appearing in the sky, normally opposite to the sun. See, just now I told, when the white light is passed through the prism, it splits into 7 colors. To get the rainbow, who kept the prism in the nature? I say, is it possible to keep the prisms in nature? No, the prisms are naturally made. When it rains, when it stops, the water droplets are accumulated in the atmosphere, you know very well. These water droplets acts like a typical prisms. That is very important. There are millions of prisms in the nature. So, that is why millions and millions of colors are going to be formed. Among them 7 prominent colors we can see. Due to these million prisms, we get a very big natural rainbow in the sky. Did you understand, children? Let us see how it is going to form. Say this is a raindrop. White light is made to fall on the raindrop. It undergoes refraction, total internal reflection, and finally it comes out in the form of the 7 colors. This beautiful rainbow is going to happen during rainy season, exactly opposite to the sun. Okay, children, with this concept, let us proceed further for the atmospheric refraction. The earth is made up of 3 layers: lithosphere, hydrosphere and atmosphere. Atmosphere is most prominent. A thin blanket of air surrounding the earth is called as the atmosphere. Normally, atmosphere is composed of the gases or the air. Earlier I told glass, air and water are the transparent mediums. Now, if I say in the air itself there are transparent mediums, means you are going to see me with a surprise. Yes, it is true, my dear children. It is going to happen like this only. How it is going to happen? Let us see. When the sun heats the earth gets heated and it is going to radiate the heat upwards. The air nearer to the earth gets heated, it becomes naturally hot, it becomes light, that means the density becomes less and refractive index naturally becomes less. Air is going to move up, then it becomes relatively cooler, the density increases, the refractive indices increase. Now, the atmosphere is the combination of the hot air and the cooler air differing in densities as well as the refractive indices. That much is more than enough to have the refraction. Now, when the sunlight enters through the atmosphere which is differing in densities due to the temperature, naturally it bends. That beautiful phenomenon is called as the atmospheric refraction. You please see how the atmospheric refraction is going to happen here, my dear children. Sunlight is going to fall. First, it travels straightly because it travels in the vacuum first. Then it enters into our earth atmosphere which is having different layers. Density is different because temperature is different. Refractive indices are different. That is why the light is going to bend. This beautiful phenomenon is called as the atmospheric refraction. Let us see the applications of the atmospheric refraction. As soon as the name of the twinkling of stars is mentioned on the screen, somebody started already singing. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Since from so many years, this poem was on the tongue of the young children. Even the people like me also are going to sing this poem. Such a nice poem. Why the stars are going to twinkle? That is the beautiful question. Even the answer is also beautiful for that. If you see the stars, they are going to twinkle. The position are going to change. Sometimes they become faint and sometimes they become even bright also. Normally, we know in the atmospheric refraction, in the previous case I told, when the sunlight enters through the atmosphere, it is going to bend. Is it confined to only sunlight? No, not at all. Sun is also star. Even it is applicable to star's light also. Whenever the star's light enters through our earth atmosphere, it is going to bend. That is the reason the stars are going to twinkle, they are going to become faint, they are going to become bright, and their position is likely to change. Now, let us try to understand it with this beautiful slide. You could see the dazzling night sky. In this dazzling night sky, you could see billions and billions of stars. If you have a look at this beautiful sky, even the people who are having lot of worries also, they are going to forget their worries for a while. Such a beautiful stars we can see. The stars are going to twinkle because they are very far away from us. They appear to be like a small points even through powerful telescopes also. Why they are going to twinkle? How they are going to twinkle? Let us try to understand it clearly. See, a star is there which is far away from us. Now, the light is coming from the star and it approaches the human eye. The starlight first it travels in the vacuum, then it travels in the earth atmosphere. Due to the difference in densities and refractive indices, it is going to bend. So, the bending of the light, that is actual position of the star. After few seconds, the star is visible in that position. The position of the star changes. We feel that the light is coming from there and we feel that that is actual position of the star. No, that is not actual position. Earlier what I showed, that is actual position, but this is the apparent position. In the next moment, the star shifts its position. That is also due to the atmospheric refraction. Now, it is going to be visible there. Say actually the actual position is here. Now, that is called as the apparent position. The position of the star keeps on changing. This apparent position is naturally higher than the actual position also. For the twinkling effect, for brightness and faint of the star, there are two reasons. One is atmospheric refraction and the second one is all the stars are very far away from us. Next to stars, in the celestial sphere, we could see few more celestial objects. They are called as the planets. the light from the planet also reaches us. See, that is the actual position, that is the apparent position. There may be slight change in the apparent position as well as the actual position, but it is negligible. The star appears to be point size, therefore, there will be change, but the surface area of the planets is more than the stars. So, even they change the position also, that remains negligible, and moreover all the planets are closer to us compared to stars. That is why the planets will not twinkle. Oh, what a nice explanation towards the twinkling of the stars and why the planets do not twinkle. Now, let us go to see one more effect called as the advanced sunrise and delayed sunset. Advanced sunrise, for example, in the calendar the time is 6:28, the sun is going to rise, but at 6:26 only the sun is raised, 2 minutes before it is going to rise. In the calendar the sunset will be at 6:28, but it is at 6:30 it is going to happen. 2 minutes difference is there, even that is also mainly due to the atmospheric refraction of the light. Due to the refraction of the light, advanced sunrise and delayed sunset, the difference will be just 2 minutes. Let us try to understand this. Earth, horizon. Now, at the time of sunrise, the sun is still below the horizon, but due to the atmospheric refraction, we feel that the sun is already above the horizon. I mean, 2 minutes difference is there for these things to happen. The real position of the star is below the horizon, but apparent position is already above the horizon. That is due to the atmospheric refraction. In the same manner, even the sunset also is going to be delayed because of this atmospheric refraction. Okay, children, this is a beautiful sunrise and this is beautiful sunset. I hope you have enjoyed very nicely till now regarding the colorful world phenomenon which is going to happen in our day to day life. Anyhow, I must test your ability by giving a few questions in the time of the recapitulation. Let us see. There is a question. This object has 2 triangular bases and 3 rectangular lateral surfaces. It is not a glass slab. I had given 50% clue. I hope you had given this better answer, that is the triangular based prism. See the second question. These are nearer to earth compared to stars, they do not twinkle. Most prominent celestial objects are stars and dash. The students have attended this question and all the students have answered it as a planet. Next question. I am too far away from you, you cannot reach me, unreachable. I mean, they become bright, faint, and even they twinkle. But anyhow, you have reserved your good answer, that is star. Myself is a natural spectrum appearing in the sky after a rain shower. Rain, okay, you please complete it. What is the answer? Yes, right, children, your answer is correct. That is beautiful rainbow. Lastly, I should give some activity. You observe the dazzling night sky for few weeks or few days and try to locate the planets. And also, every day there will be a change in the sunrise and sunset timings. You please record it for the duration of 1 or 2 months and find out the exact reason for that. 3 questions are there on the board. Please write down these 3 questions and try to answer them. Your participation was very nice. I must say thanks to all the students who were the part of this class. Thank you for each and everybody.